Hey guys, Dov here with another battle for Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. We're here with the Vampire Count's Lady Isabella, gazing off into the distance here, glass in hand, no doubt filled with some unfortunate soul's blood. We're going to be going up against the Beastmen. Hadriz wanted to try out a build here, so I decided I'd have a little bit of fun, and we've gone with a Ghost Isabella themed build here. So we've got 2 Banshees, 2 Cairn Wraiths, and the Regiment of Renown Chillgeists here. We've also got the Dire Pack, whole front line of zombies mixed with some skeleton spears, a couple of Blood Knights as well, requisite corpse cart, Sternsman also in the center as kind of a backbone. As for the Beastmen, we've got Ungor Spearman Herd, Ungor Herd up front, plenty of Ungor Raiders, some Spawn, and the Butchers of Kalkengard. Algor, the Dark Omen, going to be leading the way with the double Gorbol. We've got some Centaurs and some Razorgore herds, so a relatively well-balanced and wide Beastman build. Let's see how that's going to do here. Not a lot of magic damage besides these Sons of Goros somewhere in here. Oh yeah, over on this side. So for myself, kind of thinking about the concept of win condition, right? Especially for you newer players, when you're in a situation like this, obviously the danger to ethereal units is magic damage, right? They have very high physical resistance. That's the thing about ethereals. Sons of Goros, as a Regiment of Renown, do have magic damage, but there's not a lot of other magic damage options, at least directly in melee. Malagor does have some AoE magic effects that I'll have to watch out for on my multi-model units, but the Banshees in particular are going to be pretty tough for Hadriz to kill here. You can see he's kind of falling back here, not quite wanting to just counterattack directly into this giant blob. Very nice cinematic shot of the shambling horde, the ghostly ghouls and so on, in pursuit of the Beastmen here. They're going to set up their line and start to properly fight. You can see Gorbols are diving in after Isabella. Not really a lot to protect her in terms of mass straight in here. Likewise, these zombies have been getting pounded as well, so a little bit of a nice situation on that fallback there. But the Banshees will get in. They're going to be able to deal with the Gorbols okay. They don't have enough DPS to kill them very quickly, but at the very least, they'll be hard for the Gorbols to kill, especially when they're situated in a situation like this, where they have lots of supporting troops. Now, the Corpse Cart comes forward, and it's going to get soaked by Ungor Raider fire. That's not what I want, so we're going to throw some zombie summons, see if we can't stabilize here, but Ungor Raiders, with enough volume of fire, even just 3 units, able to very quickly take out that supporting Corpse Cart, and that's a big problem for me. That passive healing source and that additional stat buff was going to be very key for me, but the loss of that Corpse Cart is a great pick by Hadriz. It means that the magic damage that he does to my ethereal units is going to be a lot easier to sustain, right? It won't be easily healed. You can see the Cav here have taken some damage. Blood Knights and the Dire Pack have come down, but basically I just charged them directly all after the Sons of Goros. You can see the Sons of Goros basically dealt with already. The Blood Knights, the Dire Pack kind of swung up and around out of this forest, mopped them up. Now supporting this engagement here, you can see the Monstrous Infantry taking quite a bit of damage. The Chaos Spawn in particular, the Butchers of Kalkengard obviously with their high melee defense and regeneration will be a lot harder to take out. I'm going to need to get like clean charges with the Blood Knights, rear and side charges potentially, to try and take them out. Summon Cygor in here as well for Malagor. Looks like he's about to throw down another Cygor summon. Unfortunately, these Cygors don't actually do magic damage. The Regiment of Renown Cygor does in fact do magic damage both in melee and at range. The regular Cygors do not. They have high enough weapon strength. They can probably take out the unit models anyway, given enough time, but I'm going to pull away these ghostly cavalry here along with the Blood Knights. You can see the Banshees fighting the Gorbols there in the front line, but that crumbling damage, that bow fire as well, believe it or not, because of the way the numbering works, they're basically going to do at least 1 damage per shot, and with 90 unit models, they can actually do some DPS to these multi-model ethereal units. A huge Dance Macabre, Red Fury on the Chillgeists as well, increasing their charge bonus and AP damage up to 54 total weapon damage. They drop in on a rear charge here. Isabella has some nice buffs, but she's basically a meme. Honestly, I really think Isabella should be a hero, and as a hero character, she would be a lot more useful, and you would see her a lot more, and you could also take her and Vlad in multiplayer together, which I think would be awesome and very thematic. Yeah, I'll talk more about that a little bit later, but as it is right now, her main ability is that she has this single target heal here, if I can find her somewhere in this scrum. I guess I have her unit card here anyway. This Blood Chalice of Bathorai is only usable on a hero or lord, but greatly increases their health and gives them a vigor refresh as well. So it's basically a massive single target heal. The idea here is I'm going to use it in the Banshees, on the Banshees in the late game, or she can heal herself with it potentially as well if she gets caught out. But over here we're going to use the Terror of these chill guys. Before they've crumbled away, they've just about been dealt with through successive use of that Vile Tide and so on, and because my healing from the Corpse Cart was gone, Isabella doesn't have a whole lot of magic as well. I mean, she doesn't have, what's it called? Arcane Conduit or anything, but a couple of units that had been basically forgotten by me, including one of my Cairn Wraiths, going to be brought in the late game here. It's thankfully still giving me one more source of terror. And that last Cairn Wraith is going to be pretty tough to kill into this late game, but the balance of power is still very close, all things considered. Isabella going to be going over there, mixing it up in combat. We've got the Banshees fighting here with the Spawn and the Butchers of Kalkengard, the last of their support crumbling away. These skeleton spears just getting absolutely mauled here. But the Banshees, on the other hand, they are going to be tough cookies. Tough. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call a blue cookie like this, or like a teal cookie. I don't even know what flavor that would be. I kind of don't want to know, honestly. Probably wouldn't be good, but anyway, you can see Isabella here kind of soaking up some fire. Again, just that pure volume of fire. Because she's a relatively small target, not going to be as big of an issue for her, but even then, consistent DPS still, and the double Gorbles are going to be a problem as well. You can see Malagor's fighting in the front line. I'm trying to get my Banshees on him whenever I can to try and take out the Beastmen's leadership. You can see here, we do get a nice little surround on this Gorbel with the Cairn Race. They have enough weapon strength that they can get some hits, but they literally don't have any mass at all. So both Gorbels are able to push through them very easily there and go basically pick and choose their targets. To that effect, though, I'm just trying to keep everything as close as I can here. The Cairn Race with the Banshees and, of course, Isabella together. Hadris is doing a great job, though, focusing on Isabella and is starting to pull ahead a little bit on the balance of power. Got what, one more chaos spawn. No, I thought I heard a summon there. Doesn't look like anything actually happened though. But yeah, 6 chaos spawn there. Handful of Butchers of Kalkengard. The Gorbel's also still very healthy, but you can see Malagor. He's getting chased by those Banshees. Very nicely screened with the Centaurs there. Banshees get stopped up. And likewise, Isabella not doing too hot. She's getting rolled around a little bit by the Gorbels, but the Cairn Race, thankfully, are quite healthy still and able to do some decent damage. Looks like there's some Sternsmen filtering in here as well. We've got a unit of zombies also, so that's pretty helpful. The Sternsmen, 72 unit models still, quite healthy. Very nice Vile Tide there, going to be popping that exposed skeleton spear. Didn't want to use it on the Cairn Race since they're kind of mixed up in this combat, which is definitely understandable. There's a lot of light Beastmen units in here as well, but you can see the leadership for the Beastmen starting to get low. Leadership for me as well starting to get low as Isabella, I mean, not actual leadership, but her health, rather, the health of my leadership units getting low. But a nice zombie summon there, kind of able to bail her out. She's still getting mauled by one of those Minotaurs there, but yeah, it's going to be pretty key in the late game to try and sustain these ethereal units as much as we can. Even if we lose Isabella potentially, I don't know if Hadris can really finish off the Banshees. It just all kind of depends on leadership at this point, if he can force enough crumbling or not. The second unit of Cairn Race also is still doing quite well. 62 kills and climbing, despite the fact they were forgotten very early on. But a nice little side charge there. That charge bonus, extra weapon strength, anything you can do really to get extra weapon strength against ethereal units, you know, utilizing that charge bonus as much as you can, things like that, is the way to go about it when you don't have that magic damage option. Malagor might still have a little bit of Winds of Magic left for 1 or 2 more Vile Tides, not 100% positive, but the Spawn are getting worn down, and the Butchers of Kalkengard now here, a little bit of a mistake potentially by Hadris, get kind of exposed against all of my infantry, and the Cairn Wraiths also. Like you can see, the Ungors not really able to hold their leadership together in this critical situation. That does lead the Butchers to start taking a lot of damage. They still have some healing cap space left, but you can see critically we're starting to drop a few unit models there. They're down to only half their unit models. And maybe are going to drop 1 or 2 more. We'll see. The other Beastmen units roll back over to support and try and stabilize a little bit. But yeah, down to 5 unit models there, so we won't be able to regenerate as much HP. And the Banshee's still just chopping away. I'm not sure exactly if Isabella's still here. She is very low. Yeah, she's at her actual healing cap right now, but 2,000 HP, so actually a pretty decent amount to try and tank this damage from the Gorbel. She's not Vlad by any means, especially on foot, but she's done her best to do her Vlad impression. And it's been enough here. You can see a wild swing on the balance of power as I start to pull ahead as the terror kicks in. The spawn are gone, and honestly, having their unbreakable kind of anchor actually helps the Beastmen's leadership quite a bit. Likewise, Malagor is going to get beaten down a little bit here by Isabella. The Gorbel's getting very low on HP, and leadership means that they'll want to terrify as well. And they're going to do their best, though, to try and finish off Isabella here. You can see she's just getting absolutely tag-teamed there. Vlad, I'm sure, is not going to be happy about this, but hey, the two Banshees are here to try and bail her out. A handful of Sternsmen as well, a few Can Wraiths. And yeah, I think this build, honestly, if you took someone other than Isabella, like if you took an actually good Vampire Lord, even like Gorst probably might be better in this type of a build. It actually might be pretty decent against factions which don't have a lot of magic damage, and even then, Hadra's had some good magic damage options and used them reasonably well. I mean, granted, I did my best to try and just shut down the Sons of Goros early on, which I was able to somewhat do. They did end up coming back a little bit in the late game and doing some okay work, but that ended up being pretty decent. But definitely high kill totals, as you'd expect on the spawns and the butchers, just wrapping through lots of zombies and skeletons there. Can Race, 93 kills and an XP Chevron on this one that came in the late game. Almost kind of glad I forgot about it, honestly, to come in the late game there and to provide that extra terror once these other two terror units were gone. 46 kills on the Chillgeist. Didn't probably end up being super cost effective here. It's hard to say. You know, honestly, just having the chilling aura and having these guys as an option to help counter kite units is pretty important for the vampire counts in a lot of matchups, in my opinion. Likewise, the Dire Pack kind of help in that aspect as well. I misplayed my Corpse card pretty badly, and, you know, it's only 500 points, but that definitely would have made this a little bit easier of a fight. We could have sustained these ethereal units a little bit easier. Likewise, my Blood Knights did some good damage, but yeah, you can always do better with them. On Hadra's side, excellent job with Malagor using that magic damage against the multi-model units there. I think ultimately just had he managed to catch that very fast ambush, which, I mean, granted, was like a 2-second window maybe, I don't really know. Had he managed to conserve the Sons of Goros a little bit more until that late game, get them like in a full surround on the Banshees, which is really hard to do. Granted, but they could have potentially made the difference in that late game there. But at the end of the day, all things considered, this build held up pretty well. Personally, I think I might, I don't know, having the one Centaur's regular Centaur for rear charges was pretty nice. I might try and cut them down, maybe upgrade a little bit of this infantry a bit, or potentially grab like one more unit of spawn. I honestly think Chaos Spawn are so good in this matchup. And just in general, in the matchups that Beastmen struggle in due to terror, Chaos Spawn are a very solid pick. And, I mean, the two monstrous infantry definitely did well here. So, yeah, I definitely think there's something to that. Generally, this matchup, I might say, it's tough to say. You know, Beastmen, it's one of their tougher matchups. I don't think it's as tough as most people think it is. It's doable. It definitely can be done, especially if you're going like mass summons single entities, something like this, you know, kind of a wider spread build. Granted, my build wasn't super competitive with Isabella, but, yeah, I guess we'll just leave it at that. Isabella should be a hero. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.